Hello and welcome to the Padcast, episode 1, the Maiden Voyage, the first ever podcast. This is a really proud moment for me. I'm Paddy, as you can probably guess from the original name of the podcast. I'm a little bit lazy and on that front. I've wanted to do a podcast for a long time now. I've been on the Football Bets for You podcast, talking all things football and just having a laugh for the past 6 months, and I've really enjoyed it. We've gotten some good exposure on that podcast on national radio and stuff for an April Fool's prank we pulled using a fake Robbie Keane with a fan. It was funny. Go check it out on the Football Bets for You page on Instagram and YouTube. I'm really enjoying that and looking forward to season 2 and to start in late August. And I think that's what's after giving me the push to do this podcast, because I really enjoyed that, and I've always wanted to do one of my own, but we're only talking about football on that, so I wanted to kind of branch out and talk about more stuff I was actually passionate about. So really enjoying that. But the podcast as a video podcast will be going out on all the major social media channels, so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. As an audio podcast, you'll get it on all the major places you consume your pod. I'm using a tool called Anchor, so I'm unsure as to exactly the distribution it uses, but I know you'll be able to find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all the good ones. Okay, so what's the podcast going to be about? Current affairs. So the first section of this podcast today, I'm going to be talking about the new legislation brought into Ireland for indoor dining and COVID for people that are vaccinated and unvaccinated. I'm going to be talking about gaming. I enjoy gaming. I have an Xbox Series S. I have a PlayStation 5. I do a little bit of PC gaming, but not much. But that could change later on this year or next year with what I'm going to talk about in the second segment of the show, which is I'm going to be talking about the Steam Deck. Really interesting piece of hardware, and I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on it and giving it a try. I'll be talking about music, not so much today's music, because I'm nearly 40 years of age, so I don't really like today's music. So I'll be more 80s, 90s, 70s if I am going to talk about music. Big Oasis fan. I'll be talking about guitar, playing guitar. I'll be putting up guitar tutorials on the YouTube channel. So yeah, you can check that out. I'll be doing vlogs on the YouTube channel. Everything that kind of goes out that I do on video will be going up on YouTube. For gaming, I'll be doing live streams on Twitch. That'll be coming down the road. I'm planning on doing Resident Evil Village as the first live stream from start to finish on that. That should be funny. Seeing a grown man scared out of his wits. I'll be talking food and drink, mostly what I eat and drink. For on the rare occasion that I do get out to a restaurant, I have 2 small kids, so that's few and far between, and a new puppy, which is like a baby. So I'll be talking about food and drink as I go around. You can check it out on my Instagram page as well. I'll be doing short Instagram lives and the like. But yeah, so this week, what did I do this week? I went to the zoo with the family, granddad Padcast and my partner, 2 kids, and we didn't bring the dog. We left him at home. The zoo during COVID and a heat wave in Ireland, I just have to say it was not the best experience. It was so hot, all the animals were in their enclosures, and because of COVID, we couldn't go into the enclosures. So I think I seen a pigeon, a giraffe, a rhinoceros, and a rat running across. But we had a bit of a picnic. It was a day out, and we went for a bite to eat afterwards, so that was good. So seeing things get to a bit of normality again, this is just amazing. Yeah, so I suppose this will bring us into our first section of the podcast, our news chat. Okay, so indoor dining, the legislation brought into Ireland recently that says only vaccinated people or people with the new EU COVID cert will be able to go into premises. At the start, I was thinking it's. I thought it might be a good idea just to get the place open again, but I've been hearing a lot of different opinions from different sides, which is kind of making me think. But I'm unsure where I sit. Probably sitting on the fence at the moment. I'd like to point out that I don't fall on either side, vaccinated or unvaccinated. I myself I am getting the vaccine, but I would not judge anyone that decides not to get the vaccine. I believe in choice, which brings me to why we're going to be brought into a two-tier society, really. You're going to have vaccinated, unvaccinated. It made me look into both sides of the argument. So you've got the vaccinated people, a lot of them, some of them are very self-righteous, thinking we're doing the right thing. People that decide not to get vaccinated are stupid, and which I don't agree with. I do believe it's an untested vaccine. It's been rushed in. But I myself, about 6 weeks ago, had COVID, and it wasn't the best experience. So I think for me, getting the vaccine meant staying safe for a while, for good, I hope. Even if I do get it, I won't get the symptoms as bad as I did have it, because it really knocked me out, and I'm still feeling it now. I'm still feeling the tiredness, and it's taking time to get back to me, to get back to normal. But I suppose from the indoor dining point of things, what options have we got? You've got the delay reopening is one option, until the vaccinations rates go up to 80-90%. Then you've got allow people to make their own choices with consequences for people found not to be isolating once COVID has been confirmed. And this is for vaccinated and unvaccinated. So if you're found to be out, how they do this, I don't know. They can't track you. But if you are caught to be out spreading the virus when you know you have it, there should be some sort of punishment. And then I suppose the third one is just stick with what we're doing, what the legislation has brought in. But some interesting points that were brought up on Facebook, actually. So a few people commented, Orla commented, it's not just about indoor dining. The new legislation gives the government the power to make changes to where a permitted person, i.e. vaccinated person, recovered from COVID is allowed to enter. They could make changes to say that you have to be vaccinated to get the bus, go into shops, gyms, etc. as they see fit. They can also change the definition of a permitted person to mean people who toe the line and get their boosters will be okay. If not, what's going to happen then? Are we going to... It's not just as simple as getting a Sambo and a cup of coffee. Sambo is sandwich for people outside Ireland listening to the podcast. And then we had somebody from New York City saying that the vaccination rates are fairly high over there, 70%, but you've still got big businesses. Cafes and restaurants are open now, but you've got the likes of big businesses saying you've got two options. Either be vaccinated or work from home and be unvaccinated. They will not be allowed into the office otherwise. Which, for me, I don't see the problem with that. I've been working from home. I work in IT. I've been working from home since this all started. And I enjoy working from home. I do. No travelling in to work, no travelling home from work. More time with the family. When everything is opened back up as normal, when I can go for a pint, go and see friends, which we're starting to do now, the working from home thing would not bother me, because I'm still getting out and doing stuff that I like in the evenings. So what do we think then? What do you think? What do you think about this indoor dining legislation? If you can check out any of my social media channels and let me know how you feel about it. I personally, I'll just go along with it for the time being. I just cannot wait to be able to go for a pint with my friends. I can't be able to go inside for a meal with my family. It's been so long now. It just feels like an eternity that this COVID stuff, and every time it starts getting better, a new variant comes in, and it just wrecks everything. So I think that's another reason I just want to get vaccinated, get back to normal, and see some life again. It was a scary time when I got it. Really bad symptoms, and then the whole fear of the long COVID, which I've heard of some people having horrible symptoms for a long time. I think I'm lucky enough in the sense that, yeah, I'm a little bit tired afterwards, but day on day it's getting less and less, and I'm getting better, so that's always good. Again, let me know what you think. I think all in all, the government, did it make the right decision? I wouldn't like to be in their shoes. I'll tell you that now, because it must be so difficult through this whole COVID experience, closing businesses down, telling people they can't work, causing the fortune estate. I'm in fear as to how we are going to end up paying for it, because we will end up paying for it, like every other country in the world will. So yeah, let me know what you think. Okay, so enough of that serious talk. Let's talk gaming. And today I'm going to be talking about the Steam Deck. Okay, so for people who haven't heard about it already, Steam, or I'll give a bit of background. Steam itself is a gaming platform on PC. So it's a game store. You can get games at ridiculously low prices on PC. That's what drew me to it initially, but the whole configuration of getting a high-powered PC and then setting it up, some games will work with it, some games won't work with it. So I kind of fell away from it when the Xbox Series S and the PS5 came out, which I bought the Xbox Series S initially, and then I was lucky enough to win a PS5 thanks to a draw run by Patter Brown's Bar. It's here in Ireland, so that was great, and I have to say I'm really impressed. I will be doing my first Let's Play on Twitch playing Resident Evil Village on the PS5. I was absolutely blown away by the 60 frames per second. I really did. From an Xbox side of things, Game Pass, game changer, absolute game changer. One of the best features I've ever seen in any gaming console. It just opens up gaming to everybody at an affordable price, but I'll be talking about that another time. But back to the Steam Deck. So essentially the Steam Deck is going to be like a handheld PC. It has a Linux OS which runs a lot like Windows. You can run any applications that run on Windows. So not only will you be able to get all your Steam games that you have in your library, which I have hundreds because they sell them at such a cheap price. Like every winter, summer, Steam has a massive sale and you're getting games for $1, $2, euros, whatever your currency is. On power wise, there's a 4-core CPU, 8-thread Zen 2 GPU. There's an 8 RDNA 2 compute units in it, 16 gigabytes of RAM. So this thing is powerful, 720p display, but on the 7-inch display, it's more than enough. From teraflops of power, to give you some context, the Xbox Series S has 4 teraflops of power. The Xbox Series X has 12 teraflops of power, and the PS5 has 10.3. Now, when you hear 2 teraflops of power, of GPU power, you're thinking, well, that doesn't sound much compared to them. So this will be as powerful, say, as the PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, but you will be able to play all the latest games at the highest to medium settings because it's only at 720p. But that works perfect for a handheld device because you don't need a resolution higher than that on such a small screen. So you're not hitting the 4Ks, 120 frames per second like you are on the Series X, some games on the Series S or the PS5. I'm really excited about how this is going to look. It's supposed to be out towards the end of this year to the middle of next year, although I reserved one of them and it says expected in Q3 2022, so it'll give me enough time to save. So there's a 1280 by 800 resolution, 60 hertz refresh rate, which again I said I've foreseen on the PS5, and it blew me away with Resident Evil Village. Absolutely, it's buttery smooth. I couldn't believe how good it was. There's going to be 2 sticks, 2 trackpads, so you can use it like a mouse as well for, I suppose, PC games that don't work well with a controller. You can pair your either Xbox or PS5 controller with this through Bluetooth or wire. There's going to be a separate hub that you can connect it to a monitor. I watched the video of this from IGN and on the Steam website as well, and it really looks good. I won't be playing videos on the likes of this podcast because I want to think about the audio listeners as well. So I will be putting videos up on the social media channels as well, though. So I look forward to that. There's USB-C expansion. You can push the output through a bigger screen, which you know about. They're saying 2 to 8 hours battery life, which is really, I think, will be good. But that's again is I would be bringing my plug and I'd be plugging it in most of the places I play in anyway. So but yeah, something that really looks good, and a way to open up the PC market to everyone, because again it's going to be going up against the Switch, I suppose, as a handheld device. But the marketplace, the wealth of games you have, the different marketplaces you can buy games from to import into Steam is crazy, and the prices you will just not, I suppose you're looking at the prices now, it's as not a biggest deal since Xbox Game Pass has come out, which again for me has just been unbelievable. And since they bought Bethesda as well, the amount of games that have went up in it is crazy. And thinking that you're only going to have to pay what is it about $12.99 for the Ultimate, and every first party game that they build and make will be going free onto Game Pass day one, is an unbelievable value. And with this Steam Deck, I do believe you'll be able to install Xbox Game Pass on this device and stream your Xbox games to this as well, which, if you can sell your Xbox Series S, sell your Xbox Series X, get your Game Pass streaming on this, get the docking station, plug it into your TV, and you are sorted with any amount of games that you want. Will I do that? Probably not, because I like having the physical console. I like having the Series X. I would have liked the Series X at the time, but they had none in stock. Again, a result of COVID. Damn you, COVID. But yeah, this looks like a really good piece of hardware, and one that I would never have been a big handheld gaming guy. Game Boys. I had an Atari, some Atari handheld gaming console. I can't remember the name of it now. When I was a kid, the PS Vita was never a thing that kind of resonated with me, but this looks so good in terms of being able to get the library of games I have from Steam so accessible on a handheld device. And it's the one thing I haven't got is a handheld device now, and it might be handy, for my home office where I am here. I can hide every now and again. Oh dear, I'm just going into work for an hour or two, and just crack that open and start playing a few games. Just have to get a fridge in here and get a few beers, and I'll be sorted. But yeah, I'd love to know what you think. If anybody's a PC gamer out there or not, go and have a look on the Steam store or any gaming store, because most of them out there, Green Man Gaming, there's a lot of them out there that have sales all the time. There's Humble Bundle Store as well. They sell for charity. They sell bundles of games every month for PC, but they give you the Steam code, so you reclaim them all on Steam at crazy prices. It looks like a really nice piece of hardware, and one that I will be definitely checking out. So yeah, I look forward to seeing how that goes. Yeah, so let me know what you think about the whole indoor dining. Again, I hold no view either side. I'm just looking to get back to a bit of normality. Let me know what you think of the Steam Deck. Let me know what you'd like to hear me talking about. I'm hoping to have people on to interview. I was an emergency medical technician for 10 years. I got out in 2017. In 2014, I decided to go back to college, get a degree, and change profession completely just to get a better life for my family. But when COVID happened, I thanked my lucky stars. I didn't have to work through it, and I have so much respect for all the people that did. I can never thank them enough. Even when I had to go for a COVID test, just to thank the people that were standing there, sticking the cotton bud up to the back of my brain. I had to thank them for the job they were doing, putting themselves in the firing line for this. I can never have enough respect for people that do it. Again, I was an EMT for 10 years. I understood that you had to deal with difficult incidents, but I was never in a situation where there was highly infectious diseases that put me in danger. That in turn would have put my family in danger. So it's a scary thought. So I will talk about that as well, I suppose. So at some stage, working as an EMT, I'd like to get some people that I worked with before that have been doing it a lot longer than me. Nurses, DFB, HSE workers, which is the ambulance service in Ireland, Dublin Fire Brigade. I know some firemen, and just find out what their experiences were during COVID, and do some interviews. I think that could be quite interesting. I know I'd like to know, and to thank them, I suppose, on the podcast as well. How they've dealt with this really, really difficult situation. But on a lighter note, I suppose, again, two kids. We got a puppy. When I got sick, we were due to go on holidays. Kids were devastated we couldn't go. We've been promising them a dog for years. Everyone kept saying to us, go to Dogs Trust, go to the shelters, and I honestly did for a year and a half, 2 years. I tried, but to no luck. We just could not get a young dog, not even a puppy, but a young dog. So we went out and got a golden retriever, Nova. You'll see her on on my social media channels, the podcast, at the Padcast Man. You see them all up there on the top of my screen above my head, flashing up. For the audio listeners, they'll be in the comment section below, or the information section, should I say. You can tell I'm new to this. I don't even know the names of the different sections. But yeah, we got a puppy. My God, I didn't realise how difficult it was going to be. It's like having another child. Only you don't get the benefit of a nappy. You just have to chase around and clean up shit and whiz all over the house. Although, credit where it's due, she's 13 weeks now. We have her 3 weeks. She's so intelligent, so intelligent. We have her house trained already, thankfully. She's crate trained, thankfully. But what a great addition to the family. I never thought I'd be that much of a dog person. Growing up, I didn't really have many pets. I had a couple, but they didn't stick around for long. But I'd recommend it to anybody. Go out and get a dog for the family. It's amazing. It just, especially during these times when we can't go out as much as we want, it just brings a central piece into the house that brings everyone together, and it's really good fun. So yeah, we've been dealing with that for the last while. I suppose, what does everybody think about the whole work situation? Working from home, not working from home. Has it affected you? How does it affect you? Me personally, I really, really enjoy it. I work for an insurance company as a cloud engineer at the moment. And I've been working from home now since March 2019 is when this all started, as far as I know. They're saying 2022, the start of it to get us back into the office. But it keeps on being pushed forward and pushed forward. I myself now have gotten used to working from home. I have a nice little office here, very lucky to have. And I really, really enjoyed being able to, leave the office and see the family straight away. So yeah, but let me know what you think about that. And I really thank everyone for listening. This will improve as I go along. I never realised how nerve-wracking this would be, recording a podcast, especially on your own, because the voices haven't got anything good to say, so it's just me, even though they're giving out to me, but sure, what can we do? I will have friends on as well, because it is difficult doing it on your own, but again, I'll keep trucking on. If people like what they hear, I'll keep doing it. I enjoy doing it, and I'll get more comfortable doing it. The content will keep improving, but I want you to write in to the Facebook page, the Podcast Man. Write into the I'm going to be on Twitch at the Padcast. I'm reading this off the screen right now, as you can probably tell. And I'll be doing the streams there to YouTube, the podcast, and the Twitch. Subscribe, like, all the good stuff, all this stuff that they all say all the time, the bells and the whistles and all that, do that. Instagram at the Podcast Man, and Facebook, I already said, the Podcast Man. Follow me where you can. I'm going to have a lot of good, funny, interesting stuff, all the funny stuff I find on the internet. I'm going to centralise it onto the podcast page, so hopefully you'll get a lot of entertainment out of it. I'll attempt to start doing some Twitch videos eventually, once I get used to doing this. I'll be vlogging. I recorded a lot of videos at the zoo during the week. I'm going to do a vlog for that, although there's the many animals, so I'll have to see what the footage is like and see what I can make from it. But yeah, really thank you very much for joining, and I hope to talk to you in the chats. I plan to have this podcast going once a week to every 2 weeks, but once I get a format that fits, things will start getting traction, and I look forward to seeing where we end up. So again, thank you very much for joining me. If you're listening, I really, really appreciate it. And let me know what you'd like to hear about in upcoming podcasts. Thank you. Bye bye.